All right. Cade Gibson. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
dude.
it. Yeah.
I'm excited. So for those who don't know you, where does your whole baseball story begin? Obviously, you're a pitcher here at the Marlins and their organization, drafted last year at Louisiana Tech. Where does your whole baseball story begin?
Well, I mean, I've played since I was 4 years old, and it kind of started traditional, like the normal T-ball, and then you get into pitching machine, and then, you start the live arm stuff, and then you get into high school and college. But yeah, it was something that was around my family. My family always loved it, and so my pawpaw and my dad would take me out, to the field, which at my pawpaw's house we'd just, play in the yard. But Dad would take me to the field and at an early age and just, whatever I wanted to do, hit, pitch, whatever. And it kind of just started from there.
That's awesome. When did you realize that college ball is a potential? When you started your recruit visits, because you go to Shreveville, right?
Shreveport. Yeah.
So you go to Shreveport first. Were there other colleges you were interested in, and how did that whole process work out?
Yeah, which I wasn't crazy talented in high school. Didn't throw hard. Didn't enjoy the weight room at all.
Oh.
So, but I played quarterback, and I loved football.
Yeah.
And so it's like kind of one of those things where okay, I don't know whether I want to play football or baseball. But I wasn't big enough for football.
Okay.
I had quarterback.
Okay.
Was
your high school team pretty good?
Yeah, we were good. We had a bunch of athletes and guys that I still talk to this day.
Yeah.
But it was football. It's a different type of nerves.
Sure.
Than baseball, and so I was really wanting to do that, but at the end of the day, you go with what you're better at, and I was like, probably baseball is going to be the ticket. But then I only had one offer coming out of high school, and so I went to NAIA school and stayed there for a couple years, and after my sophomore year, I was like, okay, I'm tired of messing around with this. I really want to go to the next step with this.
Okay.
And so I started training really hard, and then, kind of found myself. Yeah. I started busting my tail, and, God led me to Tech. And so, it's kind of a crazy deal. And, me just telling somebody, they really wouldn't understand it. But for me to end up at, my hometown school, that's all God.
Yeah.
And so it was a cool journey. And but yeah, I always wanted to play college ball at some some sort of level.
When you started college ball, you mentioned you weren't fully into it. I mean, did you think there was a future in baseball, or was it just something kind of to get you into school? And I mean, what flipped that switch, you think?
I loved, I always loved going out and taking the field and having those nerves kick in. Now, I didn't love the process as much as I do now. And so that's, kind of where I'm at now is more of a detailed oriented.
Okay.
And you have to be, especially at this level. But my first year of college, I'm going to be honest with you, I really wasn't a good person, and I had a lot of growing up to do.
Sure.
And and so I just I had to take time after my sophomore year to be okay, what do we really want to do with this, and so I had been baptized at 10 years old, and but I had to really find out what that meant and be okay, I'm really committed to this now.
Sure.
And I'm committed to whatever God puts into my life. So it was just growing up and finding out really what I wanted to do. So
it's awesome. You kind of mentioned faith in God a lot, and I actually just interviewed someone, Eric Brown Jr., who's with in the Brewers organization, and we were talking about this, the importance of his faith, importance of my faith. How important is faith to you, and to kind of give you that groundwork of where you kind of build forward from that?
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. I don't, you always hear the saying if you build a house on sand, it ain't gonna last.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a firm foundation, and God is that for me, and He's that for everybody if they, so choose to. But it's everything to me, and my wife is unbelievable at doing that with me and keeping we keep each other grounded and making sure we're getting our quiet time in.
Sure.
and things like that. And so she's incredible in that aspect, and she kind of keeps it in perspective for me, especially when you're struggling, because you kind of guess and try to find answers. And
for sure.
So she's incredible at that. But faith is everything to me, for sure.
You talked about your wife. What was more nerve-wracking, like proposing or like your first pro debut?
Oh, I mean, probably proposing. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't like crazy nervous, because it was almost like a peace thing. Like, okay, she's the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. And so it wasn't anything that was, I wasn't crazy nervous for, because I knew that she was the one I wanted to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like a calming thing at that point.
That's awesome. I'm sure that's helpful, being in the minors, having like someone to go home to and like you can kind of confide in and things of that nature.
Yeah. And she's an absolute trooper. She's at home right now. She can only get off a couple weeks out of the year, and especially because she's in a few weddings this year, so she's only been able to come visit a couple times. But she, like I tell everybody, she's back home making the money for us, and I'm, while I chase my dream. And so she is sacrificing more than I am, for sure. And so for her to do that, it definitely means the world to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and shout out to our wives and stuff. I mean, obviously, like, we wouldn't be anywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do. So.
I wouldn't know what to do either. So let's talk about college. So you go to Louisiana Tech. You go to school with Krieger.
Yeah.
Any Krieger stories?
Yeah, college roommates.
Oh, okay.
So lots of Krieger stories.
All right, give us
I don't
one
know
that's
how
not
many
too,
you want to hear, but
give us one that's this podcast appropriate.
Yeah. Let's see here. I mean, other than the normal, like, I would have to tell him to shut up 15, 20 times a day. Like, hey, Kyle, pipe down. Like, you're being too much right now. No, I love him like a brother, and he is the closest thing to a brother without being blood related to me. So, and he'll always be that, no matter whether we both make it pro or we both don't, or one does and one doesn't, So, he's incredible. He's a great competitor, and we have fun, hanging out in the off season, and we had fun in college too, and but also on the work side of things, it's kind of like keeping each other accountable. Like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, but at the same time, like, be grateful for what we're doing. Like, not many best friends get to do what we're doing together,
and on the same team too, which is incredible. You guys can kind of make that progress together.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. When you got drafted in what, 10th round?
10th. Yeah, he was the 7th.
Okay, cool. Did he text you as soon as your name got called?
Well, he was. So I was only watching the draft because he was going. I knew he was going, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this.
Did you not think that you were?
No, didn't think so.
Really?
I didn't. I thought I was maybe going to be a free agent.
Sure.
And then I got a couple calls in the 8th round, and from another team, and then that team had the next pick in the 10th round, and they were gonna take me, but the Marlins were the pick before them.
Oh, swooped in.
And so they called me and said, "Hey, would you want to play with your college roommate?" I said, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
And so it was a dream come true. And he claims he was in the middle of an interview, and hung up the phone in the middle of the phone interview.
What?
And when my name got called.
Yeah.
So, no, we were both excited. And after, my phone almost shut down, how many texts I was getting. And so after all that kind of settled down, we called each other and was like, dude, I can't wait. Like, let's do it. We're so excited. So,
dude, that's incredible. Again, like just to be able to go through that experience with somebody who you already had college experiences and you were roommates, and also that's so cool. What was so I was going to ask you, like, what was your if to win moment, but you didn't even know you were going to get drafted. Obviously, you do get drafted. What was like your welcome to the minors moment?
As in like
I mean, it's a grind.
Playing or like
just in the lifestyle, like the travel, the hotels, the food.
Well, I think
maybe.
I finished the year last year in low A, and it was that was fun. We had a blast, and I was fortunate to pitch well, and but like 3 weeks into low A last year, Jazz Chisholm walks in the locker room, and I'm like,
that's sick.
Wow, and that was like, okay, like I'm here, like I can't, I can be a fan for a second, but like, he's like, we're in the same org, like I'm trying to be on the big league team with him, like, and help them win. But no, that was a cool moment, and I met Jorge Soler too, and he made me look like a little kid, and so therefore I was like, okay, the next off season, like I have to work out harder, because that's just not going to cut it.
That's
awesome. No, it's been a fun ride. It's been a grind. Like some days, you come out here and you're kind of like mentally dead, but you also realize that you're playing a game for a living. So it kind of brings you back to reality and be like, you know what, let's have fun today and get it done. So
100%. What has been the weirdest thing you've been asked to autograph here?
Weirdest thing, I'm pretty sure we were at the Brewers place, and a little kid wanted his shoe autographed. I'm like, no, you're probably going to wear that. And so that's probably not a good idea to use something else. So probably that. I think that was, I haven't, been asked to autograph anything crazy, but that was probably it.
That's interesting. What has been your favorite place to play? I mean, it's still your first full season.
100% Dayton.
Oh, okay.
Dayton was incredible. It was incredible? They had 8,000 fans a night. It was, which that night I did good, but at the same time I didn't. When they hit a homer, the horn blows out there.
Oh, that's cool.
And it is loud.
How many did you give up?
Loud. I gave up 3 that night.
Oh, geez.
3 homers.
Okay.
10 Ks. And was not proud about it.
Yeah. Wow.
So
10 Ks.
Yeah.
10 homers. 3 homers. Wow. Or actually, last question. What are a couple things that you are most grateful for? I love asking this question, especially the athletes. Just put them on the same level as us. So everyday life here. Man,
I'm just grateful for being able, one, having my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. It is unbelievable. And 2, my wife, she is everything to me. She's, she supports me through everything. And also having her sacrifice that time being alone at home is, I know it's tough for her, but for her to do that means a lot to me. And I mean, I get to play a game for a living, and also my family, man. The support I have back home in Ruston, Louisiana, is unbelievable. And so, I could go on a whole list, but I'm grateful for those things for sure.
That's awesome. Last thing I want to talk about, I forgot to mention this. You said you're a big football fan.
Yeah.
Did you play fantasy football?
I do.
What is the strangest fantasy football punishment that y'all have?
I mean, I'll probably have to tell you off record, but because it involves something that's going to happen next spring training.
Okay.
And so, but we have a pitchers group that's doing a fantasy football league, and so the punishment is going to be pretty funny come spring training.
Okay.
And so.
So you're hoping it's not you then?
I don't plan on losing anyways.
Yeah. Did you guys ever have your draft?
We're having it Friday before the game.
Okay.
So right before I pitch, I'll be feeling good that day because I'll have a good team ready. And
Sure.
So
Do you know the draft order yet or no?
I have first pick.
Wow,
First pick.
I feel like that's always a lot of pressure, but
Yeah, it's you can go with a lot of different guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, Friday draft good and then pitch good.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Yeah.
And I'll be here Friday, so
Yeah.
I'll actually watch you. All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
on,
man.
Doug.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
dude,
it.
I appreciate this.